I know everybody's talking about the whole situation with West Side Gun and getting kicked out by WWE, and I think we all in consensus say that it's another sign that WWE is fucking up. I know that Hawks did a video. I know Light Hawk Skin Godjin did a video. I know Wrestling Chris for H4L podcast has done a topic on this, and I'm gonna say my 2 cents, and the same echoing agreement with everybody else. So those who don't know, during a taping of Raw on Buffalo, New York, Westside Gunn was escorted by security from WWE off the premises of the taping show, in which Westside basically stated, you know, he's done. He's done with WWE. Of course, as you probably also know, Westside has been shown he is a big fan of wrestling. Huge. My introduction to him personally was during the first Feel for Eyes when he did the song Finn Balor, in which Finn Balor himself reposted and also on Twitter shared the song. And that was my introduction to him. And it wasn't until after that I put two and two together of the fact of him associating, of course, with Griselda and Eminem's Shady Records, Conway the Machine, Benny the Butcher, which obviously I'm a Griselda fan. By the way, I of course had to cop the recent He'll Have Eyes project, which if y'all have not listened to that, that is a fucking... And of course, as you know, most of his projects, he's always shown love to wrestlers in song titles, metaphorical records, lyrics, and of course, even the art covers. If some of you look at most of his discography with some of the Griselda releases, features pictures with many of our vintage... The recent Real Hills Have Eyes has Virgil and Ted DiBiase on the fucking cover. Like, this man knows his wrestling lore. He knows the... And I wouldn't be remiss to also mention he has his own wrestling promotion called Fourth Rope, where he has teamed up with many indie wrestlers from 10 AEW, and many indie wrestlers in this wrestling promotion. In fact, Enzo Amari is a title holder, and Zilla Fatu is a title holder in the promotion. Most of the promotion has been done with the help of TNA, by the way, which, as we all know, is technically WWE, which is why this whole situation makes no fucking sense. Anyone with an ID knows that Anthem, which is the company that is responsible for the streaming purpose of TNA, is owned by TKO, which is also owns WWE, which is why the NXT TNA crossovers have been frequent. And it's only a matter of time before it comes to the point that if something happens with TNA, WWE is going to pull out the check and buy the company, like they did with every other promotions they've done over the years. But from what I heard of sources that I've never heard anyone talk about, is the reason why Westside was evicted, escorted out of the building in Buffalo's taping of... And this is coming from us black wrestling fans, because I know there's some rarity of wrestling fans of outside of our race who are not aware of this situation. But I'm going to say the same thing as they are. It's a dumb fucking move from WWE. Carmelo Hayes is shaved down to a situation with The Miz, which is unnecessary. Naomi, if it wasn't for the pregnancy, I would be surprised if she still would have held the title. The Street Profits, we have not heard anything from them when it comes to the tag team division. Obafemi is off TV since losing the title from Ricky Saint. So, yeah, which is this is not a good move reason with WWE, altogether. And it makes it more and more... I know Hawks why said it's it, understandable. HL said a lot of said it, the wrestling community, I know, especially like the black wrestling community, I know Chris from H4L podcast has said it too. This situation, and I'm echoing and every single one of them on this same situation. Evicted from the building in Buffalo makes it even worse. And you mean to tell me a hometown rapping hero who has been a fan of wrestling for years and has gone to all promotions, paid himself, not even got VIP access, because he has shown up on every show. He has shown up on AEW shows, TNA shows, and WWE shows. The only company that has ever given him the acknowledgement, if I'm correct, is TNA. Jade Cargill AEW is the only wrestler who has a title, but Lord knows how long that's going to last. Y'all can say what y'all want. As much as I am a fan of AEW, they missed the mark on that. I love T-Pain. I loved his nerdiness. I love him being that relevance in his independent sense. But I have heard more from Westside Gunn as a fan of wrestling, as a rapper who's a fan of wrestling, more than T-Pain. I'm sorry. I hope he continues to do this and just never give WWE the acknowledgement they deserve, that they don't deserve. I really hope he does. Hell, and if I'm surprised AEW was smart, for NXT, they would take use Ricky of this situation. And Trick Williams is still relevant on television. If you want to do anything smart, since you have been on this rise of success of things now, since you've had to fix 5 years of damage, I would take this opportunity to acknowledge West Side and Griselda. But I mean, seriously, like that is so stupid. And that adding on to the whole thing with the black wrestling uh, division sense of it not getting enough acknowledgement or recognition on television, it's making WWE look. And again, it's respectively understandable why it is. In fact, it's why I understand why Mercedes Moné left the company when they had and dropped the tag team titles when her and Naomi held them. It's shit like this is the reason why it's understandable, which is why for those who were hating on Mercedes when that happened, you see where it's drummed up to now. So when you see her with all those titles in AEW, it makes sense now. I hope you know. It makes sense. But yeah, it's not a good look. And WWE's going to need to rectify it immediately. Immediately. Or it's going to get worse. And this situation with Westside, the way I look at it is Westside's got more power and more pull than most of y'all realize. So Triple H, Nick Khan, you better fix this shit and fix it quick. Because if you don't, this is going to bite y'all back in the ass hard. You already have enough shit on your plate. The situation with most of the black wrestlers in your company, the fact of the money and ticket sales that you're doing, but they didn't give him about certain promotion in the sense of it that's happening, most of the including WrestleMania and coming back to Vegas and the next Royal Rumble is fucking already have a shit list of stuff that you're piling on to make this shitstorm worse. This is adding to that shitstorm, and it's only going to make it even worse for. Other than most of those wrestlers, that's with the exception of most of the recaps I've been watching from most of the wrestling influencers I'm friends of, I have not watched an actual pay-per-view and stuff in a while. And stuff like this gives me good reason why I'm not missing out on and not watching it at all. The fact that MVP is a general manager for Fourth Rope is another thing, which is what led to, of course, the Hurt Syndicate's theme.